Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for the ISWP informational session. My name is Kritika Kandawale. There are many familiar faces here, so you might already know me. I am the program manager for ISWP, and my background is in computer science and engineering, and I have a master's in knowledge management. I've been working with ISWP for the past 8 years, especially focused on wheelchair training and certification. And I have the privilege here today to introduce our Executive Director, Alex Kamadou. Over to you, Alex.
Sure. Hello, everybody. I'm Alex Kamadou. Delighted to be here with all of you today. I'm the new Executive Director of ISWP. I've been in the position for the past going on 5 months now. I'm an OT by background. I've got over quite some years of experience of working in seating and also in consultancy in sub-Saharan Africa. I'm based here in Johannesburg and delighted to see that there's some colleagues from South Africa here as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more about what each of you, which area of work you are in, and looking forward to collaborating in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Would you like to go next, Talia?
Sure. I'm Talia. I'm also an occupational therapist. I was working mostly in government in pediatrics, which included quite a lot of seating for the past around 7-ish years. And then just started working at ISWP last year. So focusing a bit more on seating and a little bit more on the bigger picture, which has been great so far. And I just did my basic certification, ISWP certification, like a couple of weeks ago. Yes. So that was cool. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what today holds.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Over to you, Charles.
Thank you, Kritika. I'm Charles from Kenya. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. And I'm working for Motivation Charitable Trust in the region as the Service Development Coordinator. And my background is a prosthetist, orthotist. And I'm happy also to mention that I participated in piloting of the WHO training packages. So I've done the WHO basic accreditation and managers. So my main role in the region for Motivation is to conduct wheelchair service training. That is WHO basic training, intermediate, managers training, stakeholders, and of course, coordinate the wheelchair services for Motivation in the region. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Over to you, Ranik.
Morning, everyone. I am Ranik, and I'm a physiotherapist by background, and I'm part of the clinic. I work with Talia. I've been involved in seating since about 2009. I worked in the government sector for a few years in South Africa, and then I moved over to ISWP. So my passion is assistive device provision and training, and everything to do with wheelchair seating. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rani. Good to see you again. Over to you, Fidel Futera. Can you hear us speaking? Can you hear me, Fidel? Okay, while he's trying to fix his audio, let's move on to Herbert.
Hi, everyone. Herbert from Oding. I work with Motivation Charitable Trust as a clinician in the African region. I'm based in Uganda, but by background, I'm a physiotherapist, and also I've been working with seating since 2013. I also support Uganda as a country with wheelchair training, specifically the basic intermediate, and then also the managers and stakeholders training that I was able to undertake. So it's good to be here, good to meet all of you. I hope to learn some more from today's discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Herbert. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Next up is Kofu.
Hi, everyone. Sorry that my camera is not working. I've been trying to get it work. My name is Kofu Devisoto, Critica. Thank you so much. This is my first time that I'll be joining the team. And Alex, you're very welcome. It's good to have you. I'm a physiotherapist by background. I've done quite a number of training in sitting assessment. I was in Ireland, then I went to the UK, then finally moved back to my original base, which is Nigeria. And as you know, Nigeria is quite populous, and sitting is one of the biggest problems. Wheelchair assessment skills, it's nowhere to be found. So yes, I'm trying to work with a few government organizations, with schools, to try and bring it back to, to the grassroots. So I hope with all the collaboration, I'll be able to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kofu.
Yeah.
Good to hear your voice again.
Same here.
Thanks. So next up is Jane Miano. Jane, can you hear me speaking?
I can hear you now. I'm Jane Miano. I'm the coordinator of Focus of Disabled Persons based in Nairobi. And I'm also a wheelchair user and aging with disability. And I'm sourcing for assistive devices as a community volunteer. Yeah, especially for those aging with disabilities.
Great.
And
Thank you for joining.
I want to hear more. I want to hear more. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's good to have new names here. Thank you. And Fidel. Oops, I think we lost Fidel. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen and maybe we'll get started with the presentation. So because we are a small group, if you have any questions, please raise your hands and post your questions in the chat, and I will pause and then answer your questions before moving on. So again, a formal welcome to everybody for taking your time to join us today. So I see Fidel is joining us. Fidel, if you can hear me, please introduce yourself in the chat and let us know if you have any questions while I am sharing my slides. Thank you. So like I mentioned, my name is Kritika Kandawil. I am the program manager for ISWP, newly promoted. So I'm really excited for my new role and looking forward to collaborate with everybody. So like everybody knows already, this is the World Report on Disability says 75 million people need wheelchairs worldwide, but only 15% have access to one. And the access is even more limited in less resourced environments. So there is a global unmet need for appropriate wheelchairs. So why a wheelchair that does not meet the user's need and is provided without services will do harm? It is very important to understand that any wheelchair delivered without services is not the solution. A user has the right to an appropriate wheelchair. This means that it meets the user's needs in terms of ability, health, lifestyle, personal goals, environment, where it's going to be used, if it's affordable, if it's of good quality, and if it can be maintained or repaired locally. So the wheelchair needs to be fitted to the user, and he or she must receive training on how to use it as well. If a wheelchair does not meet the user's need, it can cause secondary health conditions such as pressure ulcers and postural deformities. Additionally, wheelchair users that do not meet the user's need will likely be abandoned. So starting point for our organization, ISWP, has been the World Health Organization's GATE, the Global Cooperation of Assistive Technology. I'm sure many of you here in the call are already part of them as well. And also the development of the wheelchair service training packages. So USAID, the United States Agency for International Development, has invested for the past 20 years in solving this issue by funding projects at the local level to supporting the creation of global guidelines and partnerships such as the guidelines for appropriate manual wheelchair provision in less resource settings in 2008. And subsequently also collaborated with the WHO to release the wheelchair training packages at the basic level, intermediate level, managers and stakeholders, and recently, like 5 years ago, the training of trainers package. So a little bit of background about ISWP for those who don't know about us. So our mission is to serve as a global resource for wheelchair service standards and provision through advocacy, education, standards, evidence-based practice, innovation, and a platform for information exchange. So like I had mentioned previously, we are a USAID-funded grant. We were previously housed at the University of Pittsburgh. So it's an exciting phase for ISWP as we just spun out of the university to become our own separate entity. So the next few years are critical, and it's very important and also equally exciting to be part of this new organization. We have several active working groups who have mostly, who contain volunteers mostly. And our advisory board and founding board members some of them are listed here. So we also, just looking at the chat, please share the link for the presentation. Yes, I will, Charles, thank you. Just going to move on to our focus. So we focus on improving the lives of wheelchair users, especially those in less resource countries, by advocating for governments to pay for appropriate wheelchairs and training clinicians on fitting clients with appropriate wheelchairs and educating wheelchair users on how to use and maintain their wheelchairs. Improving the quality of wheelchairs by working with manufacturers, suppliers, and wheelchair technicians. And everything we do is based on research and or has the opportunity to contribute to additional research to improve the lives of wheelchair users worldwide. And these are some of our activities in a nutshell. So we have the service standards and the product standards. So in my presentation today, I'll be focusing more on the service standards, that is the wheelchair training and our certifications, and touch upon educators package and how it can be helpful to you or your colleagues, and also about course recognition and some of our other resources. So in the next few slides, I'm going to be giving a quick overview of some of our other activities as well. So in strengthening research, I think 2017, we have done a special issue with the African Journal of Disability. I'll be sure to share all those links in a follow-up email, so you can all review them and have them in one place. And we've also done strategic plan for the wheelchair sector in Romania and the Philippines in collaboration with the Philippine Society of Wheelchair Professionals in the Philippines, and in Romania, we collaborated with Motivation Romania. And these reports are also available on our website. And we have another database. It's also free access. This is the ADDEP, that is the Archive of Data on Disability to Enable Policy and Research. So we have about 10 to 13 studies there. And this is all raw data approved by the study coordinators to have it housed in this database. So if you're looking for research, or if you'd like to have access to these data, you can have so, and then include you can do the analysis and also include in your publication if you're interested to look at this data. So that's free access too. Let me know if you're interested. With regards to advocacy, we have been creating awareness of appropriately fit wheelchairs since 2015. in several conferences, over 95 since 2015. We also have a bi-weekly newsletter that goes out to about 8,800 subscribers. And if you have not been receiving them, please drop your email in the chat again, and I will make sure you are subscribed to our newsletter. So the newsletter contains news from the wheelchair sector. We try to be very collaborative. So if you have any interesting news or trainings or announcements from your organization, we are more than welcome to share it with me, and we will be sure to add it to the newsletter as well. And on our social media, we are also quite popular in Facebook. If you have not been following us, please do so. We try to be almost in all the social media platforms, so Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram as well. With regards to product standards, we have some of these testing equipments made in our previous office in the Bakery Square in the US, in Pittsburgh. So caster testing and rolling resistance testing have been housed there. And we also have Product Wiki, which I'm gonna just try to find the link for you in a minute, and just try to drop the links while I'm talking about it. Here you go. So the Product Wiki. So this includes Wiki includes best practice recommendation, test methods, test equipment designs, information about wheelchair testing centers, among other information. The content and its resources are based on publicly available material, research literature, and recommendations from experienced wheelchair testers around the world. So if you'd like to be part of this community of product standards, if you're interested to learn more about the testing centers, also please let me know, and I'll put you in contact with my colleague who is leading this effort. So in my presentation today, I'll be talking more about the wheelchair training and the certification. So I'll try my best to go slowly and explain every process and step, but if I'm too fast or if it's confusing, please stop me and ask questions. Thank you. So first, I would like to start by the introducing the online courses. So we have taken the wheelchair service training packages produced by the World Health Organization and developed them into an online course that is available on our website. So we have the training of trainers at the basic and the intermediate in both English and Spanish. And the most popular package is the basic package itself, which is available in English, French, Portuguese, Urdu, Ukrainian, and Spanish. I would like to apologize that we don't have any specific African languages yet. So if that is of your interest, or if you would like to see more of the African languages in our online courses, please do let me know. And we also have the managers and stakeholders package on our website as well. So if you are to take up, if you or your organizations or your training center would like to take up this online course and deliver it as a training, we have three options for the basic level itself. So the option one is completely virtual, can run up to 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how the host, that is your organization, would like to do it. So participants are requested to complete the online course over 4 to 5 weeks, so in chunks. So the first week, for example, participants will do module A1 to A5, and then towards the end of the week, they will have a recitation, what we call is actually a Zoom meeting where the trainer and all the participants will come together to ask questions about what they learned that particular week, and if they have any doubts or if there's a particular topic that they would like the trainer to elaborate further, then that is the platform they would do it. So that's what we call recitation. Following this online training that will run over 4 to 5 weeks, we will have the virtual training that will happen over a week with 2 to 3 hours online session every day. So we don't want to exhaust the participants having 8 hours online session a day. So that's why we've split it up to 2 to 3 hours and the entire week and spread across the entire week. So it can be virtually done as well. And we just last year we had completed this training, so we're pretty confident this can be delivered without impacting the knowledge that the participants have gained. So that's option one. Option two is the hybrid format, and which is also a most popular format. We have done at least 25 to 30 trainings in the last 6 years, and trained over at least 500 people in just option two. So we're very confident about how this hybrid training works. So it's the, going to admit person, sorry. So the participants are requested to complete the online course over 4 to 5 weeks, with the recitation towards the end of each week. And then towards the end of the online course, 1 or 2 days of in-person training will take place. So this reduces the cost of the in-person training, but also it's effective because the participants have been taking the online course and they are very well into the topics and very familiar with what they're going to expect in the 1 or 2 days in-person training. And of course, the option 3 is the 5 days full training that has been traditionally recommended by the WHO. And just to give you an idea about the cost associated with option 2, for a group of 12 to 15 participants, it would cost approximately $3,000. That is, it assumes a lot of conditions. For example, the facility is free, that the host can help us acquire it, and the food for the training, for the in-person training, is covered, and the trainer's stipend is also covered, and their travel. So there are a lot of conditions that go into that pricing. So if we are to look into a full package where everything will be taken care of by us, then it would be different. So I'm just giving an idea of how much it would cost. So this $3,000 would also cover the staff's time, and then also covers the certification, which I'll talk later. And then the intermediate level, we have only one option at this time, but it's also in our to-do list to do an online course with the intermediate package. So, it's on our list. We will be doing it pretty soon, but for now we only have one option, and that is the 5 days in-person training for the intermediate. And for the training of trainers at the basic and intermediate, we have 2 options. So we have not tested the complete virtual option yet. So leaving that out, we have the hybrid and the in-person. So very similar to what I explained at the basic level. So participants will complete the online course to 4 to 5 weeks with a recitation towards the end of the week. And then towards the end of the online course, that is end of 4 to 5 weeks, they would do 3 days of in-person training. And the option 2 is the traditional 5 days in-person training. Again, this would also be a very similar cost to the basic, provided there are a lot of assumptions to this cost. So we usually have a customized pricing for each organization based on their needs and how many participants, and if they have an in-house trainer, they're able to bring in a trainer from a different place, and then so those costs are also included. So just wanted to give you an idea about the cost associated with some of these trainings. And moving on to the certifications here, this is my favorite part. So the basic level comes first. So we acknowledge for 2 years on our website that the providers have received appropriate wheelchair service provision training at the basic level, has the appropriate knowledge, and is committed to our ethical standards of practice. And this whole process is available in English, Spanish, and French. And we're happy to report, including Talia and Ronique on the call, are also our certified providers at the basic level. So we have 126 certified providers from 26 countries in our network. And the process is very simple. It's very straightforward. So registering on our website and taking up the ISWP Wheelchair Service Provision Basic Test. It's one of our most popular resources used on the website. Over 6,700 attempts have been made on this test, and all of them are eligible. Those who've passed, that is, they should have scored 70% and above, are eligible to complete the certification process. It's a 75 multiple choice questionnaire based on the World Health Organization's wheelchair service training package at the basic level, and also we've included other resources. This test might change in the future. So we are currently pilot testing a new version because the WHO package is a little outdated. The package was first released in 2008, so there was not an updated iteration to it. So we have formed a group of experts to update the test, which we'll be launching soon, and we will definitely let you know as well. So going back to the steps, so 1 and 2 and then 3 is to complete the online course on ethics and professionalism on our website. Following that will be a test. It's a simple 10 multiple choice questionnaire. So they'll have to score 80% and above on step 4 to move on to step 5. That is simply uploading a letter from the supervisor or instructor, that verifies sufficient training in wheelchair service provision. And if you can also directly feel free to send it to me once you've completed step 1 to 4. And 6 is to pay the certification fee. And here are some of our benefits on why it's helpful to have the ISWP certification. Trying to find my words, sorry. So this supports professional development through exclusive access to continuing educational opportunities. How is you will receive a newsletter. It's a quarterly newsletter, which will include continuing educational materials that are mostly free, that will be packaged and put together, and we'll send it to you. And this will be shared only with the certified providers. So you will be part of an exclusive listserv, where if you have any questions or other announcements that you would like to make to this exclusive certified group, you can do so. So you'll be part of the exclusive listserv, and then you will also be listed on our website as a certified provider in a searchable directory. And of course, this is attractive to employers since you're certified by an international organization. So I am happy to share that we will provide a 10% discount to all the participants in this webinar today. You can use the code ISWP ACAT 23 to get the 10% discount, and it expires 2 weeks from now. So if you haven't done this process already, and if you're interested to get certified at the basic level, then please do let me know. I'm just going to check the mess. Yes, thank you, Herbert. Great question. So the 10% discount applies to all the income settings. So our fee structure is based on the income setting set by the World Bank data, and the low income country is 27 after 10% discount, so it's $30 US. And then for the middle income country, it's $65 US. After the 10% discount, it's 58.5. And for the high income, it's $125 US. So I've answered your question. Let me know if you're interested, so I can send you more information. So you can get started on the process on our website. I will drop in the link, and you can start working on it right away. There we go. So next up is the intermediate level certification. So this is a recently launched certification. Previously, we only called it a certificate and not really a certification. But because this will have an expiry date, and then there is a recertification process to continue the validity of the certification, we just revised the process and launched it in December last year. So step 1 is to acquire the basic level certification. So for any of our certifications that I'm going to talk about in the future, like later on in the slide, so intermediate or the trainer, the first step is that you will have to complete the basic level certification and pass the intermediate knowledge test. This is again a 91 multiple choice questionnaire based on the WHO WSTP intermediate level, and you need to score 70% and above, and then move on to the practical exam, which we have moved it online, and it could also be done in person, where you will meet with the trainer or the evaluator. So there are three options. You can meet with them one-on-one, that's a different price. If there is a class of 2 to 3 who will be evaluated together with you, that's a different price. And then 4 to 5 is a different price. All these and the fee structure, I'm not going to go in detail, I'll just share the link. So you can have a look at it here. And I just shared the link in the chat. And then the fourth step is to complete the fee payment, because there is the fees are very nominal. If you can take a look in our website, we just want to manage the staff's time and the evaluator's time for this process. And if you secure a pass score that is 70% in the practical exam, you will then receive the certification, which is valid for 3 years. So the basic is valid for 2 years and the intermediate is valid for 3 years. And then you will have a recertification process. Again, a simple format where you will have to show us continuing educational CE units. How many like there's a different set of units. For the basic, it's 10 hours, and for intermediate, it's 20 hours. So a simple form that you would complete online and submit the materials, and then we'll get back to you on the recertification process as well. So I'm not going to go in detail, but I just wanted to let you know there is a recertification process also available. The last one is the trainer certificate. So if you're an experienced trainer and also would like to get our recognition, this acknowledges 5 years on our website that the providers have appropriate experience in leading or co-leading wheelchair trainings. Again, the process is very simple and straightforward. Possess the ISWP certification, whichever level you would like to get the trainer certificate in. Basic would be the basic, and then intermediate, of course. And then submit proof of training. This could be the TCA that we've traditionally followed, that is the Trainee Competency Assessment Form. It's a form developed by experts that we encourage trainers to complete for the participants when training of trainers have been conducted. So either that, or you can request a letter from your instructor or supervisor that you have received. So you have sufficient years of experience in training that particular package. And then the fee payment, and then this recognition is for 5 years. So I just wanted to highlight some of the benefits of receiving the trainer certificate is that you will also get a feature in our upcoming or on your upcoming or past training accomplishment on our newsletter and social media. And you can improve, obviously, the mobility of wheelchair users, and you will be listed on our website in a searchable directory along with the basic and the intermediate certified providers. I would also like to invite any of the members on the call today, if you're interested to be part of this academic training partners. This is a community of practice we've started since 2016. We have a group of 33 academic partners from 24 countries. So the purpose of this group is that they come together bi-monthly or whenever a presenter is available to talk about how they have integrated wheelchair content, how they have included wheelchair content into their curriculum. Could be a professional program like a PT, OT, PNO program, or a training program, and the lessons learned while integrating the wheelchair content and what they would like to share with the group and the lessons learned. So this is a very interesting group, and if this is of your interest and if you'd like to learn more, let me know and I can add you as a part of this group. So all these partners that you can see on the map have made a presentation on how they have integrated wheelchair content into their curriculum, and the recording has been shared on our YouTube channel. I can drop the link to our YouTube in a minute in the chat. And if this is something of your interest, let me know. And so once you present to this group, your presentation will also be updated on our website. This is the Wheelchair Educators Package website, and you will be listed as one of the academic training partner, and will be invited for subsequent meetings. So I'm just gonna quickly share this link so you can also learn more about this group and how you can be part of the group. Also, I wanted to mention here is that if you have some content that you would like to share with the sector on how you have integrated, like it could be advocacy materials, it could be like lab activities or training materials, you can complete a form that is on the website link that I just shared in the chat. And those materials will be made available publicly for others to also use and benefit from. The next
Kritika,
is the...
Before you move on, sorry,
ahead,
there's
Alex.
2 questions that I think Herbert's asked about. How long can the TCA be valid for use? And Peter asked, who are the partners in Kenya related to the training partners? So maybe if we can just answer that.
Thank you. Sorry, I missed that. So Herbert, how long can the TCA be valid for? To be valid for use. So the TCA, we particularly don't have an expiry date set up for how long it could be valid. So we recommend that the TCA be used when a training of trainers program has been conducted. So for example, you are an experienced trainer, but I know you for so many years. So when you are conducting a training of trainers program, could be a basic, intermediate, or managers and stakeholders, you could take up this TCA, download it from our website. I'm happy to also share via email, and complete this TCA for your participants and send them to me. So once once you've shared it with me, then I can follow up with them on completing the trainer certificate process if they are interested to pursue. So that's how the TCA works. So let me know if I answered your question. I'm happy to elaborate more in detail as well. So Peter, your question on who are the partners in Kenya. So in general, we have several partners in Kenya. If you're particularly asking about the academic training partners, I think it is the North Rift Community-Based Rehab Center. That is the one. That is the group that presented. I can't remember which year, but I can find the information. I can send you the recording of the presentation so you can have a look at it. Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks. So please feel free to drop your questions in the chat, and also to raise your hand so I can hand over the mic to you. So just a few more, and then I can open up the floor for questions. So the Wheelchair Educators Package, this is a very interesting package, a group of 30 experts, actually 29 volunteers from 7 working groups. One of them is actually Kofu, who is in the call with us. Thank you for joining, Kofu. So this package is very interesting. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. So this will guide, there you go. So this will guide you to integrate wheelchair content into your curriculum at the 3 states of integration. So that is advocating, planning and teaching, and evaluating. So in improving wheelchair specific content in your courses or classes, you're supporting the wheelchair development of a competent workforce of OTs, PTs, and PNO wheelchair service providers at the basic wheelchair service provision level. So there are many resources, at least about 150 resources, and we have 4 different languages, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. So we have collected resources from other educators, which are freely available for you on the website as well. So you can have a look. And we had the opportunity to launch the package at the World Federation of Occupational Therapy Congress in Paris last year. And lastly, I wanted to just touch upon the course recognition. So you can get your courses, it could be online or in person or hybrid, recognized by us. We will award a letter of recognition and also a seal that you can add it to your marketing materials as well. And so mention it that this course has been recognized by ISWP. So we assess courses or conference content in English and Spanish against the WHO WSTP and provide you with recognition to include in your marketing materials. So again, it's a very simple, straightforward approach. An online form is all you need to complete on the website. And we will get back to you with more questions if we have any, or if we need to look at more materials. And then the team will decide if the recognition will be awarded to you. And then it's valid for 2 years. And you can, again, if you modified any content, you can reapply and get it updated. So that's another resource that we do. So I wanted to share that with you as well. So how can you get involved with ISWP? So there are 6 ways to do so, and many more that I've not covered here. So you can participate in our working groups, committees, and contribute on what from your experience and some of the lessons that you have learned, and help us volunteer for our working groups. You can participate in the academic training partners that I just talked about. And you can present in the group, and your recording will also be widely shared. You can subscribe to our newsletter. If you haven't done so already, please share your email in the chat with me and I can add you to the list. You can participate in the standards, the product standards community of practice, and the wheelchair testing labs group. You can sign up for membership, which is free at the moment. And then you can also help us promote ISWP through your network. And if you would also, again, something that's not here, but I would like to mention it specifically, is that if you have any other activities that you would like to share with the sector, we're happy to include and promote your activities on our newsletter and social media platforms as well. And coming to the last slide is, please, again, if you're not already on our database, you can sign up for our membership simply by completing the registration form on our website. You can also use the QR code to go to that page. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them all here. And I'm going to also drop my email in the chat, where you can also contact me. So that's only one part about ISWP. I haven't elaborated on the products and the other work that we do, but if you have any questions about the content that I presented today, please feel free to ask now. I've dropped my email in the chat as well. Does anybody have any questions or need more clarification? I'm happy to answer.
Oh, maybe can we ask a question rather? So as ISWP moves into this new stage or phase of being a standalone entity, we're very keen to understand what is happening in each of your countries so that we can find ways to help support the development of the training in each of the countries. Does anyone want to tell us about what is happening in your country in terms of wheelchair training? How is it organized, and what happens in terms of, is it physio or OT that mostly does wheelchair prescription, and who are the donors working in your country? So to just give us a little bit of an idea and where the gaps are in terms of the training. Is it as a basic level or more advanced and intermediate type of seating? Is it pediatrics versus adults? Just to give us a little bit of a flavor for your country.
Hi, Alex. I think I'll just go first rather than the silence. Kritika, thank you so much for that presentation. It was really nice. Thank you so much. It's very detailed, going through all of the different ways and processes that we can tap into the website and the organization as a whole. I'm in Nigeria, and Nigeria is one of the most populous African countries, and Nigeria is such a dynamic society. Basically, the therapist, the physios, OTs, prosthetics, basically wheelchair training. There's really no training at all. So it's being done by maybe a few non-governmental organizations that will come into the country. But the challenges you would have is you can do the training, teach the therapist, go to the schools, train the undergraduates, work with universities, work with Ministry of Health, work with a lot of stakeholders, especially the ones that, the NGOs that are bringing chairs into the country. But after the training is where the challenges are, because you have somebody that already has the knowledge that you've imparted. And with any knowledge, which if you can't use it, it's nearly, you're back to the square one, you're back to zero. We don't have wheelchair services around. Most wheelchairs are brought in by traders, retailers, and some of them are not even fit for purpose. Some are not crash tested. Some cannot be used in the kind of terrain that we have. And then you get a lot of all these charity wheelchairs that has been used in the developed countries that are being dumped. And then it comes in because there is adaptation of home adaptation, accessibility is still not there. So Nigeria is still in that very, very basic level. What people are looking for is more of a mobile seating chair rather than because they don't understand the awareness, how everything impacts. So it's a massive, massive. I've been pushing with CHAI, I've been pushing with Ministry of Health of how important it is for this training to go down to the grassroots. But after pushing, we still need those chairs to be available, because you can win one point, and then how do you get to the next point? If the chairs that you've trained them on is not available and the resources are not there, so you're a bit in a loop, if I can put it like that. So Nigeria is still a very, very much untapped area, and people do need these chairs completely. Over. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kofu. That's really quite a comprehensive overview of the situation in the country. And unfortunately, this is the situation we are facing in many countries, not just on our continent, but across the globe. And so I think that's really helpful for us, because I think ISWP has this opportunity to be able to influence at that global international level, and to highlight that, wheelchair service provision must be incorporated, across the whole health system. So we need it right from the national governmental bodies right down to the grassroots levels. Like you say, we need to build capacity, and we need to build policies and standards and guidelines so that we raise the bar in all the countries. So I think, we're making some notes as we're going along, but I think if there's any way we can help support you in Nigeria to, any dialogues with the ministry, etc., like that, let us know and we can continue the conversation. I think we've noticed other countries like Egypt put out a tender for through WHO to provide capacity building for the whole health system, help to develop policies and guidelines locally. The wheelchair service guidelines, revised wheelchair service guidelines are coming out in April this year. They're going to be launched. So there's a lot of work being done, but I think we need to make sure that countries and people like yourselves have a voice or a collective voice to be able to say, how do we help our country to make that change? or how do we bring about that advocacy to be able to shift things in the right direction. So yeah, I've just made some notes here, and maybe we can link up after this call as well. But I think the training is fundamental. Like you say, we need to get as many people trained. And I don't know if many people are aware, our training, no, you don't have to be a healthcare professional to be able to access the training. We work with volunteers, we work with parents, carers, you know, and of course, if you've got a healthcare background, that's also very important, but our training is open to any individual. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Subhash Sinha, you raised your hand. Please go ahead.
Yes, hello. I was waiting for Butare Fidel to respond from Rwanda, and he did through the message. Just I wanted to inform you what is happening in Rwanda. We have a Rwanda Biomedical Center, which is responsible for wheelchair provision in the country. They have trained a few professionals, mainly physiotherapists and biomedical technicians, to provide the wheelchair service in the country. And usually the government do not have the budget to procure the wheelchairs. So it's been supported by charity organizations like LDS, who gives the wheelchairs in the country. And this is being provided through some of the physiotherapists and the biomedical engineers trained in some of the hospitals. But idea of RBC was that those people who are trained, they goes to community, they identify people who needs these wheelchair services, and then they provide these wheelchairs. But most of the time it's not working very well, mainly because the people who works in the hospital setup, they are quite busy on their own activities, and most of the time they don't have a means and support to go in a community to identify people and provide the wheelchairs. Also, we find that some people who are coming for a wheelchair service, they do not know exactly where to go for repairing their wheelchairs or getting a new wheelchairs. They have to wait, but somebody will come to assess them and provide them a wheelchair. So we did recommend it that all the rehabilitation service providers in the country should have a wheelchair service as well available, and those people should be trained on a wheelchair service provision. But actually it is not been implemented so far. What we did is we discussed with the WHO and the Ministry of Health, and we actually created a technical working group on rehabilitation. And through this technical working group, we managed to do a rehabilitation situation assessment, which is called a STARS report, which is recognized by Ministry of Health, and it's actually published in their website. So using that strategic plan, we also did a 7-year strategic plan using that STARS report, which is about to publish. And on that strategic plan, we did mention that wheelchair service should be available in the rehabilitation service providers who providing prosthetic orthotics should be able to provide wheelchair service as well. And of course, it is divided into different phases, like tertiary level hospitals should have basic and intermediate level package. The secondary level hospitals should have basic level package, and the secondary level hospitals should visit primary level cares to provide wheelchair. So we have all in planning phase and process. Implementation is still, I mean, this strategic plan is still not published and not approved by Ministry of Health. Once it is done, we hope that it will be implemented. Definitely the support will be required from organizations like ISWP to put standards in the place when it is been implemented in the country. Ministry of Health has recommended one of the medical supply department to provide assistive devices, which is called BUFMR in the country. And the BUFMR has been consulted different centers to get the list of rehabilitation materials, including wheelchairs, which they're supposed to procure for entire country. So idea is they procure for entire country in the and then it should be purchased by every rehabilitation centers and then provide to the people with disability. But for the time being, they are actually struggling to get a funding to start this process, because they have to invest a lot of money to get those rehabilitation products and the materials, and they have to give it to every hospitals, and then hospitals will pay them back. But the initial chunk of money is the main problem for them, and they are not able to procure them. I mean, they have some agreement with Autobok, for example. Autobok is a company who can provide them any product, and they are ready to put them in the store in Rwanda, saying, okay, once you sell it, you return money back to us. But the problem is the company like Autobok is so expensive, nobody is able to afford them. And companies who can provide low-cost wheelchairs, they are not able to provide, mainly because they are asking the upfront money that you have to pay the money first, procure it, and then only it's possible. They are not ready to invest and keep the wheelchairs in the country and wait for the reimbursement. So we're facing all those challenges, but we are trying to deal very systematically and trying to deal, engaging with Ministry of Health and the service provider. We do work with University of Rwanda, who has a mandate of providing the rehabilitation training. They train a Bachelor of Physiotherapist, Bachelor of Prosthetic Orthotics, and Bachelor of Occupational Therapy. And they actually included this basic level training package within their curriculum. But I see that implementation is still not up to the mark. The students are not going with fully trained package, and then students are not acquiring this basic level package recognized by ISWP. Mainly because they struggle, they do not have enough products when they wanted to train people. And also they struggle with the timing because they have so many things in curriculum, and most of the time wheelchair is the one which is left out because of the time pressure. So I will recommend that I can probably, after this meeting, we can get connected with University of Rwanda guys and see how ISWP can help them. Maybe this should be the one who should be the reference point for providing a wheelchair training in the country. That's all what I wanted to share from Rwanda. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Subhash and Fidel as well for giving us that feedback about the country. It is, it varies from country to country, but this is, again, a similar sort of story. But it sounds like there's a lot of work being done in your country. So that's actually quite a good thing. But yeah, please, Subhash, if you can connect us with the University of Rwanda, let's see what we can do to try and build capacity, particularly there. But I was quite heartened to hear that at least at the tertiary and secondary level, prescription will be made available to people, but we need to push more for primary care as well. I think we've run out of time, so I'm going to hand back to Kritika to maybe wrap up. And but I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for your inputs and for giving us all this your time today. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So in conclusion, I have shared all the links and my contact information in the chat. I will also follow up via email with the presentation and all the links and more details to the certification if you're interested to pursue. So you can all have them in one email and reference to it later as well. With that, I would like to again thank you for all your time, for all your valuable time today, for making it to the session. So if you have any questions or if you'd like to meet again with the team here, myself and Alex, we're happy to do so separately as well. So thank you, everybody, for taking the time. You have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, Kritika.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.